Welcome back to Total Focus Podcast. I'm your host, Paul. Our sponsor of the week is Mid-Atlantic Video and Photography Productions. No matter if you need photos or videos, Mid-Atlantic Video and Photography Productions is the team to get the job done. If you need photos for a wedding, professional headshots, or a pageant, Mid-Atlantic Video and Photography Productions is the team to get the job done. If you have an upcoming commercial you need to shoot, an upcoming special event where you need a videographer, Mid-Atlantic Video and Photography Productions is the videographer that you need. So when you need photos or videos, make sure you reach out to Mid-Atlantic Video and Photography Productions for your next photography and videography job. I'm so excited for our guest this week. Allison Cook, the current newly crowned Miss Oregon USA 2021, is on the show. I am so excited for her. One, she's also the only Miss Oregon to win both America and USA, putting her in a very rare category of title holders to hold both America and USA. So kudos to Allison for that. As well, as she points out in the podcast, she will be approximately the oldest, being the youngest at Miss America and the oldest at USA. So, kudos to Allison for all these achievements, and I hope you guys really dive into this interview. She talks about sports. She talks about her medical background. She talks about pageants. If you can't get jazzed up for this, what are you waiting for? Stay tuned. And welcome to the show.
Hi, Paul. Thank you so much for having me today. And hello to everybody listening at home. I can't wait to chat with you today.
It's always amazing. I've never had the opportunity to interview anyone from Oregon, especially Miss Oregon USA. So I really do appreciate you going out of your way to be on my show on the East Coast and introduce yourself to a whole new audience. So I know you've been on a national stage. I'm sure everyone's seen you, but a lot of my East Coast people really do keep to their East Coast people. So hopefully you'll have some more people that will start looking at your Instagram feed or your social media. So.
Well, thank you. I sure hope so. And I have to give you credit. You said Oregon the right way. A lot of my East Coasters put a different vowel in there, but you said it great. Oregon, you nailed it.
Okay. How do people mess it up? Because I'd love to hear it if it's messed up. So how do people, if they mess it up, how do they usually say it if they mess it up?
I think people sometimes enunciate the E in the middle. So it's like Oregon.
Oh, no.
I've also heard Oregon, like they enunciate the O at the end. So
well, no, that's more like origami.
You would think.
Yeah, I know,
but
right.
People get real creative, but you did a great job.
Oh.
Oregon is usually how I say it, so nice work.
I always think of it as the Duck State because that's the big university in Oregon.
Yes.
So I always thought that was a great university. I thought the color scheme was always so beautiful too. So I honestly don't know
Absolutely.
that much. I don't know.
They're quite popular.
Yeah, I don't know that much more about Oregon, so maybe you could give us some top 10 or whatever, because I apologize. It's one of these states I don't know that much about, but the whole point is to really talk about you and your journey. So while we talk about you, if there's anything you want to talk about your lovely, incredible state, please throw it in, okay?
Absolutely. Well, I can give you some of my history with the state here. So I've been living in Oregon for almost 10 years now. I went to college in a town called Klamath Falls, which is the southeastern portion of the state. And then after, the college's name is Oregon Tech. Once I graduated from there, I moved up to Portland to work at a hospital. And then I've been in Portland really ever since. So Oregon is absolutely beautiful. You have just about whatever scenery you want to look at. We have beaches, we have mountains, we have kind of that high desert plains. We even have sand dunes, which a lot of people don't realize. But Oregon has some phenomenal national parks, including we have Crater Lake, which is one of our most famous, but it was an old volcano and is one of the deepest lakes in the entire United States. So lots to see, lots to do, and absolutely beautiful weather, so no complaints.
I mean, the way it's always been described to me is like a very to the earth kind of community. proactive when it comes to growing crops and always driving electric vehicles or having solar panels, and very progressive when it comes to left leaning is of everything that I've heard about Portland specifically. Um, I do know a little bit about Portland, so that's so awesome to know more about Oregon. That about the crater, that sounds like so incredible. Have you actually had the opportunity to go there and check it out as
I
well?
have. I have. I've gone in a couple different seasons. My college town was about an hour and a half from the top of Crater Lake. So I had the opportunity to go snowshoeing around the rim, and then I've also gone up in the summer. But if you have a chance to go visit, I would definitely put it on your must-see list when coming over to this side of the country. It is absolutely gorgeous and something you'll never forget.
I'm praying that you guys get a professional baseball team, because that has been my interest in really coming to Portland.
Oh,
And I'm a
that
huge
would be
baseball fan. Yeah, I
fantastic.
know, but I agree. I have really heard great things about Portland, and you just really enticed me about the entire state of Oregon. So, um, we'll we'll definitely have to put that on my states that I need to visit. So, I
Yes, move it to the top of the list, especially this time of year. Oregon's known, of course, for their rainfall. That's one of the reasons why our state is so green. But as we start to enter into the June, July, August months, we have some of the most beautiful summers here. So I'd move that up on your list, absolutely.
well, the whole point, like I started the interview, is to really dive into you. So let's take in some more information about Allison Cook, and to learn really about your journey when it comes to pageantry. How did your journey start? Were you in high school, sports, or were you doing ballet, or were you doing athletic activities, or were you doing pageants from the get-go? Like, what were things that really helped you to excel, that got you to this point?
Yeah, I'll kind of dive into my history a bit. I by no means was a born and bred pageant girl. If anything, you kind of touched on the athletic part. That was really my passion through most of my childhood was athletics and music. At 17, I graduated from high school and had the opportunity to move to Klamath Falls, like I mentioned earlier, and play college volleyball at my school. And so they had a little career fair, and a scholarship fair was attached to it with a booth that said, "Want us to help you pay for college?" And it had this little crown, and it was talking about community service and public speaking and the need for a talent at that time. I was like, wow, that sounds great. So I was able to compete, and I won a local title, and then I went to state for the first time. And then the year after that, I won another local title and won my first state competition. So in that brief 2-year time span, I earned over $37,000 in scholarships. And I thought, wow, God is good. And I cannot wait to see what happens from here. So
That's a pretty
that was,
that's a pretty like substantial sum of money. Was that
oh
in
my gosh.
was that in
I mean, it was life changing. And there were a lot of people that really went out of their way to help me through that journey, and a lot of hard work that went into it. But I was able to graduate from college debt free because of it, and my life completely changed in the most amazing ways. So that was kind of my start of pageanthood. That was back in 2013.
okay.
And I really did want to graduate from college. So I took some time to focus on school and focus on building my career. And then I did another national pageant, won another state, did a national pageant, and thought, okay, this is my last chance. I've always wanted to be a part of the Miss USA system.
I
Being a
don't blame
brand
you.
ambassador,
It's
getting to
it's like doing, it's the best, it's the coup de grace. It's the top of the cake. It's the it's the top of
I
the
think
mountain.
so, and just the opportunities that come from it, and the networking, and just really the chance that you have to really make a name for yourself and for your community to be able to volunteer all over the country. And so with that as my end goal, I competed last year for the first time in the USA system. I took first runner up and then was able to come back this year and capture the title. So I'm so incredibly thankful for the amount of people that have helped me along my journey, and all kinds of different sponsors and friends and family that have just always supported me. And I just cannot wait to represent Oregon on a national level and hopefully bring it home for our state.
Well, now I want to break down a lot of things as you started off. So
Yes.
you're no, it's fine. Like, it's cool because now I have like a runway and I can jump off on questions. So your biggest thing is volleyball. So was that beach volleyball or was that court volleyball, team volleyball?
So I played in the gym. I played court volleyball, and now to stay involved, I actually referee. So
Okay,
I
awesome.
have gotten my line judging certifications, and so I do Division I games with the goal of making it into the Pac-12 in the next couple years.
That's exciting,
So,
right?
yes, I absolutely love volleyball, and then basketball was really my childhood sport. So I'm quite passionate about both of those.
So if someone is looking up to you and they want to win the title that you currently have, do you think that those sports played a vital role in building your work ethic, your teamwork, your workout routine? I mean, do you think that's where you drew a lot of your inspiration, or
Absolutely. Yeah, I think both of those played a huge part. Just having self-discipline, learning how to pick yourself up after a loss. There are so many invaluable skills that I learned by playing sports that fit in very nicely to pageantry. And sometimes, as silly as it sounds, with sports, sometimes you have to work with people that you don't like. And that works
that
with
is true?
pageantry too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's the competitive edge that you get from sports and the team working, but I think there's a lot of life skills that can draw, and they also fall right in line with the pageantry world.
You're also being very polite too. I can tell you
Thank you.
I can tell you got some kind of southern like good manners into you too, because
Thank you.
because I can tell it's either you put up with a lot or you've been through a lot, because you don't I would say that you mentioned that specifically because it's been a long year. So I mean, I think it's been a long year for everyone because of the pandemic, but
Oh, absolutely.
yeah.
Yes.
So so you're balancing that, and you got your scholarship to play volleyball. Now, I assume that the pageant that you didn't mention was America. Did you win all that money competing in America, or did you compete in another system?
That's correct. That was through the Miss America organization. And I will, again, forever be grateful to that program for the opportunities that they provided me, especially in that phase of life. So I had the honor of being Miss Oregon 2013, which is crazy because I'm Miss Oregon again now, 2021. So 8 years have gone by since my entry into a state pageantry, at least. And oh my, I mean, so much growing has happened in that time period, to say the least.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, absolutely. I mean, the person that I was 10 years ago is not the person I am today, for sure.
Yes.
How does that, like, from a historical, how many double title holders are there in Oregon? Maryland only has three. Do you know how big your sisterhood when it comes to double titles by winning America and USA? Because that's a very rare feat.
I am the first
Wow.
Miss contestant to ever win both. I'm unaware if there is a team that won both titles. I do have a sister who won Miss Oregon, Teen USA, and Miss Oregon for America. But I'm the only one that won the Miss division for both of those systems.
So, Allison, I honestly, I like to just interview really great people, and I like to have the conversation. So I didn't know that you won America, so this is like so fascinating to me.
Oh,
and
cool.
Yeah, like I like to just reach out to random people that that are like doing great things, and you currently have a title. So like, this is awesome. Like, so congratulations. That's such a big achievement. I would
Thank you
encourage,
very much.
I would highly encourage you after your reign is over that you should totally do like a dual title photo shoot with your two sashes because
Uh-huh.
it's something you should be totally proud of.
Thank
You're
you.
literally you're in your own class for your state, and like I was saying in Maryland, we only have three. I have a
Wow.
a special photo in my office because I coerced or convinced all three young ladies to do a photo shoot. So I have all three of them with all three sashes and
Oh my
all three
goodness.
crowns. So they have both them.
Wow.
It's a really unique photo. It's a really so you should totally do that. Um, I mean, I think representing your state alone, but how do you feel representing your state and representing it in the two biggest systems? Do you feel blessed or
Oh,
do you feel
absolutely. Yes. I know I keep saying the word absolutely, but I don't
no, it's
even think I
fine.
have more words to
No.
describe where my heart has been lately. It's just such an honor. And again, to think that all those people that believed in me along the way, I'm far from perfect. I'm not the most amazing person that you'll meet, but to think that people have believed in me enough to give me these chances to represent our state and really make a name for myself, I'm just so thankful. And I cannot wait to see what comes of it. It's going to be a big year. I just feel it.
I mean, Allison, I mean, I'm not trying to you to me can I blow your horn because you're totally you're sounding so modest, but it you had to go to two of the major systems and you had to play within their rules. And we all know that one system is more conservative than the other. And you were able to blend your style and win on both sides of that's pretty good. That's like in tennis that you're as good as a server as a defender. So that's pretty good because sometimes you're only good at one, as a pitcher, you're only good at throwing, you're not good at batting. So you're good at both hitting and throwing. You're a double threat, right? I mean, that's the way
Well, thank you. I like to think so. You touched on sports earlier. Something that I learned in sports that I think is important to apply to pageantry is you have to have your team. You have to build your community of people who can give you constructive criticism along the way, but can help mold and shape you into the best version of yourself. And I do think that the people who have been in my corner through the beginning journey, the journey now, and the journey that's to come, that has really helped me immensely to be the version of Allison that I need to be successful. And I'm grateful for all those people.
it sounds like you're definitely in a great spot in your life. Do you feel like you are like way more prepared
Oh,
than you
yes.
were where you were competing for America? You said
Oh,
it
yeah.
was 8 years
That's not
ago.
even absolutely, that's not even a question. So, to let you in on a little bit of my America journey, I was the youngest contestant that year at 19 years old and the tallest. I'm 6'1".
There's nothing
At
wrong with
this
that.
point in time,
Girl,
no, I am.
cash that in. Get some runway, and get some runway money.
I love being tall,
Oh
but yeah,
yeah.
I was 19 when I was at Miss America, and at this point, I believe I might be the oldest contestant for USA, and I'm 27 years old.
Well,
So,
maybe that.
again, we talked about it's a
May,
big difference there, right?
yeah, but maybe that's another stat. Maybe that's another thing you can put in your statistic. You'll be the youngest and the oldest. I don't know if you want to be the oldest, but oldest being 20 is it 20 it's 28, right, at USA. So that's not really old. I'm I'm going to be 39 this year. So
Oh, see, age is but a number. It doesn't mean
just about a
anything.
number. That's right. Exactly.
But yeah, so that's kind of my fun fact. I don't know if anybody else has had the spread of years that I've had, but I'm thankful everything worked out in the way that it did because I think I needed those years to really find myself and find my place in this world and figure out how I can impact people to the best of my ability.
Well, I mean, most people consider USA to be the more sexier pageant. Do you think that if you would have reversed the pageants, do you think that you would have been as successful, or do you think you needed to go
No.
through America and to find yourself and then be the strong, confident woman?
I needed America first. I really think everything was in God's timing. I was very much an athlete and I needed money for school, and that's kind of how my journey started. And I don't even think, if I was speaking frankly, that I would have had enough self confidence to have considered the Miss USA organization at that point in time. I needed an organization that was going to invest in my education and help guide me into the woman that I am today. And I'm so grateful for both different organizations and the opportunities they provided.
Well, it just shows that if you put the hard work in America, that there is that opportunity, but you have to cash in, you have to win at the highest level. But it does show that if you do, you can go to school pretty much free, which is wonderful. What now? You didn't even tell us the best part. What did you graduate with?
So I got my Bachelor of Science in Radiologic Sciences, and I
Awesome.
got minors in Business and Medical Sociology, cum laude and from the honors program. So,
Oh, so you're super
and
smart too. Okay.
well, I mean, in layman's terms, I basically studied how to be an X-ray tech, but I got my bachelor's to go with it instead of doing a 2-year program.
Okay.
So I worked at a level 1 trauma hospital as an X-ray tech for quite a while, and then I helped launch an orthopedic surgery center. And about 2.5 years ago, GE Healthcare, General Electric, picked me up, and now I travel all over the country and teach people how to use surgical X-ray machines.
That's so cool.
Yeah,
That
so
is
and
so
that's another avenue
cool.
of my life where I feel like pageantry has really served me well, because most of my coworkers have a lot more clinical experience than I had, but with pageantry, I learned how to travel, how to speak to people, how to be flexible, and all of those are very crucial skills in the job that I do with GE.
Well, Allison, we definitely need more people that know how to take a proper X-ray as well as read it. So seriously, because I don't know how many times when I was a child where they messed up the X-ray because they didn't have me centered right or whatever. So if you need
Aww.
more schooling and if that's what you need, I applaud you for the hard work because I know how hard that is. Now I assume now that some of the new technology when it comes to that technology, they're doing like thermal reading as well as um, like like I forget but it's like a 3D scan too, right? It's not they're not using it
Yes.
right.
You know, it's funny that you bring up 3D. GE is actually, and I can finally talk about it. We
Oh,
just
cool.
released a three-dimensional C-arm is the equipment I teach, but it's a fluoroscopic unit. And
Ooh,
you basically use it in surgery. So let's say that you are getting screws put into your spine. We take this X-ray machine into the operating room and we can create a 3D image to show you exactly where you're putting those screws. And so you can imagine how revolutionary that is in putting people back together and helping them along their path to their best health and wellness. So
that
it's
sounds incredible.
just incredible. Yeah, some
Now,
amazing technology is coming out.
so they're going to be able to basically have a full model of their back and spine and blood systems. That's incredible. That I mean, if that doesn't help a doctor to be more safe and not damage someone, I can't think of another way that a visual aid that could do that. So,
Absolutely. And it's a mobile unit. It rolls in and
oh,
out. I mean,
wow.
I can nerd in and out about my job. I love that kind of stuff. So if you're listening and you're into medical, I'm your gal, that's for sure.
Well, here's the thing. The way I really believe my podcast is that there is someone out there that really does look up to you and they may want to go into medical sales or they may want to be a radio tech. Is that the right term for the position or is it a radio
Yeah,
tech?
but pretty close. So X-ray tech is kind
X-ray
of the
tech.
common name,
But there's
but the
another
official
tech.
title is a radiologic technologist,
That's what I
or
thought.
RT.
RT,
Yeah.
yeah. So, because, hey, I don't know how many have pageant titles. So, you're definitely one that everyone can look up to.
Oh, thank you. I hope so. It was kind of a wild journey. Again, I would have never expected that this is where we'd end up, but I'm very blessed and very thankful.
I mean, I'm giving you photo ideas, but you should totally take a photo in front of it, like holding up or next to like an old fashioned big I don't know what you call it, like a normal like array, the film ones. Just as like, this is what I do with your doctor outfit on with your jacket, because I think it would be really helpful, because especially for girls, you want to show that you're in this field, and your degree shows how smart you are. So like, I would encourage you to do that, because if it encourages one other girl to go in your field, that would be so important,
Absolutely. Yes. You're right.
I just wanted to take 1 second from this great interview and talk about our sponsor of the week, Mid-Atlantic Video and Photography Productions. No matter if you're planning a wedding, a special event, or you just need an amazing headshot, they are the team to get the job done. You can reach out to them at 443-422-3830. Again, that's 443-422-3830. Or you can go right to their website at mavpp.com. Now let's get right back to the show and listen to this great interview. So you spent, 5 years competing for Miss America in Oregon, right? So
I spent 2 years competing for Miss America.
Miss America. Okay. So you've only been in 2 organizations then, right? Or did you do?
I had a third that I snuck in. I don't believe they exist anymore, but it was the International Junior Miss Organization. I believe they just combined with another system. But I was the Oregon State title holder for them in 2018.
Okay.
And then I took top 15 at internationals along with some other awards. But that was kind of what got me really prepared for the Miss USA stage.
So you have a lot of consistency when it comes to placing well, then. Is that a fair assessment?
To some degree. I mean, I must admit, I did not place at Miss America, so please don't take that the wrong way. I have some incredible sisters, and they did well. I won the National Scholar Athlete Award at Miss America. But other than that, I was along for the ride on that one.
Well, Alice, I'm not trying to take a dig at you in any way, but like state nationals is a toss up. So like it's hard.
Yes.
It's hard to you only get one shot, where states you can come back over and over and over, and whatever you've done wrong, you can really be the best person. But it really is a toss up who's like doing the best that week at nationals,
Right.
And
Absolutely.
I always feel bad because if you don't have enough help, or you don't have enough money to get the bigger outfit or whatever, sometimes you're at a disadvantage because the other state's budget might be. So that's I don't know how to make the field more competitive from a national standpoint, but I would love to see some more people from the Northwest, Northwest, East, Northwest. Well, no, I'm getting these all messed up. So it's West North, right? That's how you guys say the region, right? West North.
You had it opposite, actually. You were doing right, Northwest. No worries.
It's my dyslexia. So yeah, I would love to see more competitive from your region, because I feel like California always seems to trump a lot of people on the West Coast. So I don't know. Do you think that's just the size of the state and the amount of sponsors they have? Or do you think it's just the amount of time they have, or it's a toss up? You think it's just a
I think it's a toss up. There are a lot of reasons why it could be the way it is. I do think that pageantry is becoming a much bigger deal here in Oregon and Washington and some of our neighboring states. Some of the other states, a lot more people do it from childhood into adulthood, and so I think in more recent years it's becoming more commonplace for people to want to be involved just because they see the benefits of what pageantry can do in other areas of your life. So hopefully we have some incredible sponsors in our state and people really working on our behalf, and it just takes one, right, to put something on the map.
absolutely. I mean, the nice thing is that you have so much time to prepare this year because they've moved the pageant to. I've heard a rumor it's supposed to be in October. Is that what you've heard as well?
They've actually formally announced the
Oh, they
pageant.
did.
It will be in November in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Okay. So, what's your initial thoughts? Is that
Oh, I'm
exciting?
thrilled. Absolutely. It's much easier to plan for something when you have a date in place. It will be the Monday after Thanksgiving, so I believe that's the 29th of November,
Okay.
and it's much easier to get a plan in place and feel like it's coming right around the corner when there's an actual date. So I'm quite grateful that they announced it so early.
Well, that is incredible that they've announced it. Well, I guess you're going to celebrate Thanksgiving the week after then, when you with your Miss USA title, right?
Yeah, that is definitely the goal.
Right. Exactly. Um, because we gotta focus on winning the title. The way I always look at it is you always gotta believe that you gotta be talking like you've already won the title, because if you don't see yourself winning it, you won't win it. Do you
Yep.
have that mindset, or do you have another mantra that helps you be more competitive?
I just put my best self forward. My father's mantra was actually said by a philosopher named Albert Camus. He always said, "Life is the sum of your choices." And what I like about that saying is, you might make great decisions, you might make decisions you wish you didn't, but at the end of the day, making a better decision will get you where you want to be. And that's kind of, I guess, my philosophy going towards Miss USA. I want to be Miss USA, and if that's my end goal, I need to make choices every single day that get me closer to that goal, not pull me farther away from it.
Well, I have to say, if you're already traveling the country, you understand the responsibilities of being a public figure and doing public appearances. The only difference right now is you're doing it on a state level and you're traveling for work. So I mean, I think I think that you're definitely going to be prepared. Do you feel that you understand the responsibilities going into it, into a world with no
Yes.
COVID and
Yes, I think if anybody, I have a better understanding for it because I traveled through COVID. I mean, I am a
oh,
front. Technically, I say I work alongside the front line. I'm an essential worker, and we traveled through the pandemic because hospitals still needed our equipment. So I think bring a very unique perspective and would be able, excuse me, to tie that into the Miss USA role very nicely. I mean, I've seen things that people would never want to see, and I think I bring just a very different perspective on where our country is right now and the direction that we need to go.
so for our listeners right out here, that how's Oregon doing from the COVID? Are they recovering? Do you feel it's still very challenging? Do you have any like feeling on how the community is right now?
So, Oregon has been very mindful throughout the whole pandemic. Our governor has been extra cautious in regards to public policy to keep everyone as safe as we possibly can. As of right now, we are about 65% vaccinated in the most populous county in Oregon. I'm not quite sure what the state vaccination rate is, but we're beginning to lower in our risk categories, which is allowing more businesses to open up. And I hope that we can have some normalcy or new normalcy evolve out of this. But on the whole, it's been very difficult, as it has been for people across the country. And a lot of people may know Oregon struggles with a homelessness epidemic, or houselessness epidemic, excuse me. So it's difficult, and something like a global pandemic hasn't made that easier. And so I think we have a long road ahead of us, but there are a lot of people doing everything in their power to make sure that we're finding that new normal and getting people back on a pathway towards health.
Well, I agree. Like it doesn't make it any easier when you can't be within 6 feet of someone, and you're trying to either give them food just to survive, or putting them in a tent, or putting them in a shelter for the night. So, and I don't know how to solve that issue. I know California has a major issue as well. So does Washington State. I feel for you guys tremendously, because as a Christian myself, as a Catholic, we're always raised to take care of everyone. So it's a very tricky situation. So, and it sounds like you have a big heart yourself.
Yes, I do. And just like you said, I don't have the answers. I kind of jokingly say, if I had the answers, I'd make a lot more money and I'd be somewhere different right now, right? Like,
well, hey, Allison, hey, who knows? Like, it sounds like you're becoming a mini celebrity in your own state. When you win USA, you might run for. I mean, why don't you run for the governor? I don't know. Like, I don't.
You
I don't
never
know.
know. I have also learned I can never say the word never, because I would have never assumed that I'd be involved in pageantry in the first place. So you got to watch use of that word. But we have a need, and if you have a heart and the skill set, don't let people tell you that you shouldn't go after where your heart is pushing you towards. If you're passionate about a specific cause or an area, do what you can and contribute. And I think if it's meant to be for you, the doors will just fling wide open, and that opportunity is going to be there.
For you to have that Oregon name across your sash, does that impact you as much? Like, you said that the last time it was 8 years ago. Did you realize how important that was? And I'm sure it's different now. In retrospect, is it like incredible? Like, I get to wear this once again.
Oh, it's so emotional. It really is. I mean, even back when I was Miss Oregon the first time, I worked extremely hard, and I had quite a few mentors that had prepared me for what it meant, but I feel like it got more special once everything was over, because sometimes it's so easy to get caught up in the moment and everything that you have to do. And so it was in those 8 years where I really realized what that meant. And so to have that opportunity to do it again, I think is just that much more special.
I mean, is that one of the other things that really drove you to it, that you wanted to represent your state so much? Do you have that is it the passion to represent the state, or did you feel like you had unfinished business?
I think it's a passion for people. It's knowing that I have a lot of ideas and a lot to contribute, and a fantastic way to do so is by being a title holder. It's to some degree a golden ticket to which you're representing an organization, but it gives you the credibility to reach out to anybody and anybody. The change that you can affect and the differences that you can make as a title holder are really second to none. And although I did my best as my namesake, as Allison Cook, sometimes you can reach people in a different way when you have that backing of an organization. So I'm ready to represent Oregon. I'm excited to represent Oregon. But for me, it was more than just going back and doing it a second time. I really wanted to contribute in ways that I wasn't able to before. And I think the perspective that I bring now is so much more valuable. And I can't wait to share my ideas and really make a difference this year.
I mean, to me, it sounds like you totally had unfinished business. Like, to sum it up. I mean, am I being just too simple about it? Because it sounded like there were things that you wanted to accomplish and things that needed that, and that comes to for like from the community basis as well as as winning the national title too.
Well, yeah, in that sense, potentially, I guess I haven't quite thought about it that way, just because sometimes there could be such a negative connotation. Because in my original time of being Miss Oregon, I know that I did absolutely everything in my power with the resources that I had at that time. I think now I have different resources, I have a different maturity level and different connections where I can impact people in a much different way. So I
Of
wouldn't
course.
say that I had left things unfinished, but there's absolutely more that I can contribute, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what will happen because of it.
I guess a lot of people that aren't in the pageantry world, they don't understand that, like, you are just a caretaker for the year, and you have to take care of it, and then you have to do everything you can to keep the organization, going well, and then you have to voluntarily give it up to the next person and hope that they do the good work that you've done in the future to the next year and the next year. It's you know is it hard to do that in retrospect, to give up that title and to do that? Was that hard for you, or did you feel like it sounds like you, I think you answered this question, but it sounded like you achieved everything, so I assume it wasn't that hard.
Well, it's hard in the sense that it is such a magical year. I kind of alluded to earlier, you have the opportunity to get involved with so many organizations in a capacity that you wouldn't otherwise. And I think there's a sadness that comes with just the magic of it, getting to go visit a children's hospital or getting to make somebody smile in ways that you might not have been able to before. That's probably what I missed the most. But to give somebody else a life-changing opportunity is a gift that not a lot of people have the chance to be a part of. And so I knew that, I was given that gift, but I also had a duty to myself and the people who believed in me to go back and return to what my normal life was at the time, which was go back to school, use that scholarship money, make a difference in my community, and really impact people in that way. And so that's kind of the same for going into Miss Oregon again. I've been given this gift. I can go out and do. I have an incredible group of sponsors and a board of directors that are supporting me. But my hope is to leave that position of Miss Oregon better than I found it, so that the next person has just as incredible opportunities, if not more, because of the hard work that I'm able to do throughout the year.
I mean, they usually say leave it better than you received it. So I mean,
Yep.
so if
Yes.
you've done that, then I don't think there's nothing else that you can do to say you had a better
Yes.
year.
Yes. Yep. That's the goal.
I just wanted to take one extra second and talk about our sponsor of the week, Mid-Atlantic Video and Photography Production. No matter if you're planning a wedding and you need a wedding videographer, you're doing a music video, or you're doing a commercial, they are the team to get the job done. You can reach out to them at 443-422-3830. Again, that's 443-422-3830. Or you can go right to their website at mavpp.com. Now let's get right back to this great interview. So you have a director that represents several states. Now,
Yes.
I assume that in the Miss American organization, you just had one board, right? So you were just
That's correct. Yes, a single state board.
right. So is this like exciting that you have like all these people that are really close queen sisters that are really basically on your team, that you can like, is it different for you? Are you excited for it? Does it make it more exciting that you have like this little team of people that you guys are all together on?
Yes, I couldn't do it without them, truly, because every person that I've met and that's been a part of my journey brings a different set of expertise and support and excitement. But I must admit, it's also a lot of pressure, right? If you have people investing into you, you need to make sure that you're not wasting their time. And so, yes, I'm absolutely grateful for their support. I'm so excited. But I want to make sure that I'm representing my best self in my state, so that there's kind of, I guess, a double-edged sword with that. The more people, the merrier, but the pressure's on. Time to get stuff done, huh?
But Allison, isn't that more or less your hard working, and that's your competitiveness coming out? That
I'm sure. I'm sure that that's a big part of it.
I
Yes.
mean, do you get more competitive the more people are competing against you? Like they say that steel is the only thing that can sharpen steel on steel is the only thing that can sharpen. Do you is that your philosophy? Do you think that's the same way too?
I really don't think it matters the other girls that I'm supposedly competing against. I really see it as a personal competition because there's only one Allison Cook. Well, I mean, there might be a few other Allison Cooks, but in my eyes, there is only one of me, and I'm the only person that could be me. So why would I waste my time so focused on what the other girls were doing because I'm not them? That doesn't make any sense. So I really don't think it matters to me how many other girls there are. I just want to be the absolute best version of me and put in as much work as I can to develop and contribute myself in a way that people have never seen before. But I mean, that might be a selfish answer, but this is a me thing. There's no reason for me to get caught up on the successes of my supposed competitors because they're in their lane. They're focusing on what they need to do. And I think that's a really important distinction.
Personally, I think this is a sport. So if you're a baseball athlete, as a batter, it's you and the pitcher. So I think you're more than right to have that opinion, and I don't think you should. I don't think you should apologize for having that opinion. I think it's only right because if you slip and fall on stage or if you don't work out, then those are your mistakes, and no one
Right.
else is in occurring that to happen. So
Well, and let's be really frank. I mean, going to Miss USA, everyone will be beautiful. Everyone will be accomplished.
yes,
Everyone will have a story. So why should I get caught up in other people's
yep,
story?
you're
Because
right.
while I'm busy focusing on other people, I'm losing myself, and that helps nobody.
And I'm with you. Like, if you're looking over there and they're running past you because you're looking the opposite direction, that doesn't help
Yep.
you in any way. Um, just like any like synopsis on how your winning night went. So you said that you came back. You got first runner up your first year. Is that correct? Did I hear that right?
Yeah, so last year I was her first runner up.
Okay, and then so that during COVID of all years, right?
I
Right.
know.
And then you won this year. Now,
Yes.
um, what was that experience like? Like, did they have a pageant, or was it just you and and the direct and the judges, or how did that go down? What was that experience like? Because a lot of my friends always talk about this experience.
Right. Well, I have to give credit to our directors, Maureen and David. They are incredible. They're the owners of the Pageants Northwest brand. They did everything in their power to make the pageant experience as normal as possible. And so we were initially supposed to compete in November for the title. And of course, the COVID restrictions were still quite strong at that point in time. It wasn't safe for us to proceed. So the ownership group, so we were supposed to have the pageant in November, but the COVID restrictions hadn't been lifted yet. And so our ownership group had moved it to March, but it was as normal as they could possibly make it. So they invested in a cleaning mechanism that killed COVID-19. And we had about 100 people in person. Everybody was masked. All of the guidelines were enforced. We did do in-person stage competition. However, our interviews were virtual, and we didn't do any type of a major production. So masks were worn. We did everything that we could to be compliant with our state's rules, and it was as close to a traditional pageant as we could have made it for that point in time.
I mean, I'm totally impressed by your director to go out and buy
Oh,
a
she's
cleaning air machine.
incredible.
That's incredible. Kudos to her.
Yes.
Wow.
Maureen and David are the directors, and yes, it was some sort of a spray. I believe it might be posted on our
Mm-hmm.
website, but you basically sprayed the event center, and it killed any type of bacteria for a certain period of time, which is unreal. I wish we had more access to that all over the place.
I also do video for small commercials, and uh, the doctor's office that I did a commercial for has this device. They also have the humidifier that breathes it in and then discharges the clean air. So I know how expensive that is, and if your director did that, that's an incredible value and safety precaution she did for you guys. So that's pretty awesome. So that's
Yes, we are very thankful to Maureen and David from Pageants Northwest. They're phenomenal people, not just great directors. They just have big hearts for others, and they did everything that they could to make this event very special.
well. It so did you get your the worst thing that comes about doing these COVID pageants with a crowd, without a crowd, or doing it virtuals? Did you get your applause? Because that's half of it. Did you get your big pop? Did you get that announcement, or was it subdued because of the COVID requirements?
I felt like I got my moment. I
Oh,
was
good,
very fortunate.
good.
My family was able to come visit me for the weekend. I had a lot of people supporting virtually, and I had my moment again. It was emotional because my first runner-up and I competed together last year, and we both worked so hard. Her name's Hannah Patterson, incredible person. But we had set our goal last year for it to be us in the top two, and we both worked extremely hard this year. And I think that's one of the things that made my crowning moment so much more special was just getting to stand up there with her, knowing wholeheartedly that if she would have won, I would have been just as excited for her. So I had my crowning moment, and I had everybody I loved and cared about was right there with me. So very thankful.
Well, I mean, it just shows that you guys know what you need to do to win. So, you can help to pass on that title to her next year when she wins. So,
Yes, but so she actually aged out this year,
oh, she aged
unfortunately.
out.
So
Oh no. Oh, oh,
I know,
jeez.
but I have ultimate faith that she will be doing big things here in the near future. So she's one to watch as well.
Well, then you're just gonna have to win it for her. Okay, you're just gonna have to win Miss
See,
USA.
there we go. I think that's a great idea. I
Yes,
win
sir.
Miss USA, and she gets to be Oregon anyways. So
Yes.
I like that plan.
Well, that too. But I was gonna, I was gonna say, you could dedicate winning it for her because she aged out. But that's right. The way the rules are, she would. That's right. Duh. If you win USA, she gets to be Miss Oregon. Yeah, right. Duh. Uh,
Yep. So
so
maybe that we'll both be invested. It'll be a good year.
yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, good things come to those who wait, and clearly you put in so much effort and time. Maybe this is your year to really achieve your goal. Do you feel like that? Do you feel like everything's working your way to achieve this, or do you think it's too early to even speculate in that behalf?
I believe that God's got a plan, and if it's in His plan for me, it'll be made known when it's supposed to be made known. So right now, I'm just focused on what I can control, being disciplined in my decision making. And if that's where God's plan is for me, then you better believe I'll be just as excited to be there.
And Allison, as a final question, as I always ask to my incredible guest, um, do you have any advice if there's a little girl that wants to be in the medical field or wants to be a pageant contestant or be a fabulous volleyball player? Do you have any advice, like, because being a professional athlete is important, being a pageant and doing great things in the medical field is, I mean, I think in all three facets that you're doing, you're you're doing incredible things. Do you feel that? Because it sounds like you're achieving all of that.
if you've had a dream put on your heart, whether it is going into athletics or the medical field or pageantry, I truly believe that that dream or that goal has been put on your heart for a reason. And there are going to be people that come along and tell you you're crazy or you're silly or that's a waste of time. But don't let other people's perspectives take you away from where your passions are. And don't be afraid to put that work in. It might take you a year to achieve that goal. It might take you 20 years to achieve that goal. But at the end of the day, success is defined by what you make it defined by. And so you will win at whatever you put your mind to if you put that work in. So I have full faith and trust that if you want to enter an arena, whether, again, it be sports or medicine or pageantry, find your team, put the work in, do everything in your power, and you would be amazed at what you can accomplish.
Allison, I'm really excited for you, and I really am blessed that you were willing to let my small podcast interview you, and I appreciate you going the extra mile. I know that there are always steps, and I really do appreciate that, and I want to thank you on the podcast for giving me an opportunity. I know you're a very busy person. If anyone hasn't realized, she is currently driving, so no one should hold Allison against that.
Sorry, anybody who's listening.
No.
I have to put a plug. I'm actually driving. We have a big award show this weekend. It's called the Global Beauty Awards.
Oh,
and
cool.
It will be incredible, but keep your eyes out on social media because there will be quite a bit of press on what an amazing event it will be.
That's exciting. And are you a host or are you a judge?
So I am just attending, and there's a big red carpet award ceremony, and we will be providing different awards for nominee categories. So I'm heading over for a big red carpet awards show. It's kind of like either the Oscars or Golden Globes of pageantry. So there's all kinds of nominees, and we're going to have a beautiful red carpet and ceremony to celebrate the impact on the pageant community.
Now, is that part of Pageant Magazine? Is that?
I'm not sure if it's affiliated, but our ownership group, Pageants Northwest Productions, puts on the Global Beauty Awards. And if you have not been, it is definitely an event to put on your calendar.
Okay. Well, after COVID, I would definitely consider it. So.
Hey, yes, that sounds great.
Yeah. Well, Allison, I know you're busy, and like we had mentioned earlier, you're currently driving, and I really appreciate you giving me some opportunity, and thank you so much, and we are truly rooting for you, and I hope you only the best, and if there's anything I can do, if your medical job has you come to the East Coast, please reach out. We could definitely do a photo shoot before November, okay?
Hey, that sounds great. Thank you so much for your time. And audience, if you want to get in touch with me, my social channels are at Miss ORUSA or at Allison E. Cook. You can also check out my website with more information about anything pageant and life, www.allisoncook.com.
And guys, don't forget, if you're a bad speller like myself, you can click in the contact details at the bottom of the podcast and the YouTube channel. Please reach out to Allison, give her some follows and some likes, give her some encouraging comments, only positive words, okay? And thank you, Allison.
Thank you.
Allison, thank you so much for coming on the show. So inspiring. Just to start off the podcast and talk about Oregon, I feel so inept that I don't know more about the great state of Oregon, and you just made it sound like such an incredible place that I need to go visit. As a baseball fan, I know everything. Not everything, but I know about Portland. But Portland is just one piece of Oregon, and Oregon sounds so incredible. The dormant volcano sounds the best part. So I'm definitely going to put that on my list of places to visit. And thank you for making me so interested in your state. And congratulations on being a double Miss Oregon. I mean, that's a highly encouraging, exciting thing to celebrate. And I'm so excited and and pumped for your upcoming pageant. And I really hope that you win. As always, I want to thank my lovely listeners. I really appreciate all the hard work that you guys put into listening and subscribing and just putting out good words. We have our upcoming 100th episode. It's only because of you guys that we were able to do this. As you know, we also have our movie review show called The Movie Breakdown with my co-host, Yvonne Carlos, where we talk about movies and have a great time. We're also going to be moving the movie breakdown to our sister channel. So we're still gonna have it here, but we're gonna have their own dedicated channel as well. So more information to come in the future. Please like and subscribe, and as always, please stay tuned.